A very good morning and welcome to FYI. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's Tuesday, believe it or not, the third day of September already. In the year 2024, we're happy to be here with you folks. September looks as though it's going to run pretty fast. We might as well get on with it, folks. We might as well get on with it. Lots happening, folks. We wish to draw to your attention this morning. And one of the things is that September is running fast. How are you folks doing? Welcome back to yet another one of our broadcasts. Good to have you here joining Credible Source, the mothership. And in that, for your information, FYI, we're on, folks. We are live, broadcasting live from the national capital city here in Georgetown. And again, tremendously privileged as always, 36, 37, 38 seconds into the broadcast. Tremendously privileged as we are every single morning to have you guys here with us. Do share the live for us and smash that emoji button as we start the broadcast this morning. So good to see each and every one of you who are on with us. We're dotting our I's, crossing our T's. Another day, folks. Another day outside. Good to have so many of you with us. How are you all doing, folks? How are you all doing? We got Annette Cummins is here. Rowena Cummins, welcome back, Rowena. I saw that message. Sorry, I haven't had a chance to respond as yet. Welcome back, Rowena. Welcome back. Hope you had a good stay where you were, Region 11. Good to have you with us this morning, Rowena, from the homeland. From homeland. Yep, Bushmaster, we see you there. Bushmaster, we see you there. And Grand Rising to you as well. Anne-Marie Selby, we see you too. And Jolly and Edward. Beatrice is on with us. Everett is here too. Owen Bacchus is here too. Good to have you here, Owen and Pam Halls. Those of you who are joining us from the diaspora, it's a different feeling, you know. When you're home in Guyana, you're joining us, it's one feeling. When you're watching us from the diaspora, you're watching back home from the diaspora, it's another feeling. We're so happy to have all of you folks here with us. Donna George is here. Drea Percival is here. Good to have you too. Lynn Finance. Good to have each and every one of you here, folks. It's the third day of September. Why did we like just in August? Like yesterday? September 3rd already. Just that was mid-month, and then in October, Christmas curtains, the music, and so on, and boom! Into the season of goodwill. Terrence Beaton, we see you there, Terrence. Sharon McPherson, we see you as well. Claire Alexis Charmley. Claire, I saw a woman like you in Georgetown yesterday. Claire, you home? Claire? Saw you at the, is it Bishop's High School Old Students Association? Boat cruise in Brooklyn. Saw you there in your dandelions. Yep. Eyes mind your business quietly. Lorraine Durant, good to have you with us, Lorraine. I does mind the business quietly. Beatrice, good morning. Marilyn and Abira. And we got to do another hookup, folks. You know, one of the things that I love, when we had a little meet and greet in Brooklyn, people, they want to know about me, Marilyn. You know the whole thing. You were there, Marilyn. Brian, people want to know about me. People say, you see Sheila Boychild, you see Abira, you see. I did see Abira. Huh? People were asking for each other. I love that. We got to do another meetup. We can do one here. We can do one here in Guyana. Shortly, folks, look out for that. We can do a meetup here in Guyana. Marlon Thomas, Courtney and Rohan Basantra, Everett. We can do a hookup. Should we do a hookup? Let me ask you a question. Yvette, Gail, who could help me plan it? You know, do we have some folks here in Guyana who could help us to plan it? I got a lot on my plate already. Yo, help us plan a meetup. I so love the one we had. You know, to have seen Beatrice and Marlon, and Beatrice and Marlon went together and they had to ask each other. They went together. You know, people were asking for each other. I love that. It was minus the rain. You know, well, the rain allowed us to get a little closer together. We were huddled together. It was so nice to hear folks asking, have you seen this person yet? Have you seen that person? Have you seen? Yeah. Aubrey Stevens, good to see you on the live this morning. Good to see you on the live this morning. And you know what impressed me too? We have so many Guyanese who have been part of mainstream corporate America, former bankers, Had a chance of meeting some of you working in finance, working in management, and different kinds of businesses there in the US, entrepreneurs. I was so heartened by that. Such an outpouring of love. Such an outpouring of love. Marlon said, coming to the election. Owen Bacchus, good morning to you again, and Beatrice and Brian Adams and Brian Abrams, rather. All you other folks who are on the live with us this morning, a very good morning to each and every one of you. We got a couple things we want to swing your way. We got a couple things to swing your way. Yvette Moore says, I'd love to meet you in person, Sherrod. Yeah. You don't worry. Soon. Long time gone, short time come. John Wolford. Good to see you there, John. Good morning, Mr. Wolford. Wherever you're joining us from this morning in the diaspora in Guyana, we want to welcome you to our broadcast. Lynette Finance. Good to have Lynette on the live with us, and Sabrina Blue too. Good to have you, wonderful folks. How y'all doing, man? Lester, how y'all doing? Good to have you folks. Right? Good to have you folks. Abira says, I will help the USA meet and greet. Good. Signing you up, Abira. Gotta do one here in Guyana. Gotta meet some of you. Some of the folks on the ground here with us. Shani Eastman says, I'm coming home too. Good. Good. We on again next year, folks. We can do the Brooklyn, Queens, New York meet and greet. Hello, New York. Lester Tom. Good to see all of you on the live this morning. Good to see you all with us. Let's touch on a couple things as we begin this morning, folks. So glad to have all of you outside with us. We're outside in Brooklyn. We're outside quite recently in Linden. I like to be outside. I like to be outside talking with people. Marcy Agard, finding out how people are doing, what's affecting them in their neck of the woods, in their part of the vineyard. I like to be outside. And I know some of y'all like to be outside too. Like Claire Alexis Chomley. Yeah. Great. Claire dress up and she boat cruise, come back quite. Think we see you now. Sheena Hazel, good to have you too. And Luan, Beatrice, Chinsing Henry, good to have you. Folks, all week this week, I have to be part of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association has a conference happening here in Guyana currently, and usually it's held in one of the Commonwealth member states. Last year I had to be part of it as well. I had to go to Turks and Caicos. That's what took me there initially. But we're privileged to have it here. Guyana is hosting this year, and so myself and some other parliamentary colleagues, we have that duty to fulfill, and that comes up at the top of the hour. So let's get to it. I get some of this stuff out of the way, and hopefully we can finish maybe a little early so we can head off there to that conference that's happening. That's where we begin, because yesterday, folks, Irfan Ali said that democracy is that engine that drives development. That engine that drives development. If you're looking for some sound bites, then this might seem underline might. What part of speech is might? When I was an old English teacher, I'd found a lovely book on grammar. My God, I've been searching for that book. Searching for that book on grammar. It was one of the better books I found on grammar and syntax. The anatomy of the English language. I've been looking for that. What part of speech is the word might? Y'all see how I went up there? What part of speech is the word? You might. Then we do our devotions for the morning. The Apostle Paul said, you might have persuaded me. Almost. What's part which is might? Democracy, the engine for development. No. Yvette and Rhonda, Everett, Chinsing, Rhonda and Debbie, and a lot of Rhondas on the live this morning. Marlon Sachs Priya. Marlon. Marlon is a new school term. Let us start it on good terms. In good faith. This could look appealing. It could. Right? You got a lot of countries, for instance, I want to point out, who are developed countries, but they're not democratic countries. So one could argue that democracy is not the only engine. Democracy is not the only engine. Autocracy could be another one. And you heard, we're going to circle to that in a sec, one of UG's former chancellors thinks that they are shades of autocracy operating locally. Ralph Ramkran is in disagreement. Irfan said yesterday, democracy is that engine that drives development. Take China, for instance. China is a very developed country. All parliamentarians, when they go to conferences there, they often talk about how hospitable, how hospitable the host is. You know, all the help that they get, all the amenities that's available to them. 5-star treatment. You're your own country. People want to treat you with 1 star. So I would argue this morning, as we said when we were students at the university, I want to posit. I want to submit. Democracy is not the only engine that drives development. And again, China is a good example. Right? China is a good example. You better toe the line with Xi Jinping. You better toe the line with the Communist Party. And they got parliament, the National Assembly, and all of that. But the system could hardly be said to be democratic. Hardly. For me, everyone was talking about the terms yesterday. As we say in the vernacular, for me, one. Everyone was talking out of turn. The Chinese got a different way to say it. They say out of timing. They say we backward. You out of timing, Irfan. Speaking out of turn, democracy is that engine. That's the only engine you got. You got a lot of countries around the world don't have democracy as we know it. Democracy means different things to different people. We may have a working definition, an integrative definition of democracy means different things to different people. Yeah. So I want to explore some of that this morning. Listen to some of the other things Irfan said yesterday. But you know, when you measure his own thinking, he don't get a lot of reports that's transpiring in his parliamentary democracy, clearly. Because he'd be far better informed. Some of the things Irfan said was pure fiction. Pure fiction. Take a listen.
We have to understand the nature of democracy is such that if you toy with it, one day you will be toyed with. Democracy is not a convenient tool. Democracy is the fixed part of that equation of national life that cannot be toyed with. Democracy is not a feel-good thing. Democracy is real. It is application. It is part of living it. It's a way of life. It's not a custom or a tradition. It is a foundational pillar in a modern society. In light of the diverse threats facing parliamentary democracy today, it is imperative that we make greater efforts to insulate and protect our modern parliaments. Parliaments must be equipped to resist these threats, whether it be misinformation, ideology, and guard against any erosion of democratic norms and values. We have to.
Yeah, so that's some of the challenges we have, folks. Apologies there. Those are some of the challenges we had. And there you had Irfan Ali speaking at the 46th Conference of the Caribbean. This was the occasion, the 46th Conference of the Caribbean, the Americas, and the Atlantic region of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association. I'm talking there about democracy. And we have to examine this. I think it's an apt time. Neon Harding and Christopher Chichester, Rihanna Mingo, Jacqueline Argyle. Listen, it's an interesting time for us to talk about this. Look, Tuana asking Tuana Green, what is Ali talking about? He seemed divorced from the reality that is his own parliamentary democracy. Isn't it in the parliamentary democracy of this country we had Priya Manikchan screaming rape or something like that? Or somebody in the National Assembly screaming, I don't think it was Priya, but somebody in the cohort shouting rape there. And we've seen some of the most untenable behavior in the National Assembly by the PVP government. And that is part of the parliament. But they're divorced smaller. Parliamentary democracy started in 2020, if you believe Irfan Ali. If you believe the Irfan Ali government. Started in 2020. We have seen cases in our country where when Miss Janet Jagan, for instance, was about to be sworn in, the court has issued an injunction that was served on her. She fling that over her shoulder. Fling that. No time with that. But everyone don't talk about those times in our parliamentary democracy, and clearly we don't talk about it enough. You remember the time when they were attempting to steal that seat? When, thankfully, the astuteness of Vincent Alexander ensured that seat wasn't stolen. We don't talk about that kind of rigging. We don't talk about that. But all that is part of our parliamentary democracy experience. All of it. The USA, where some of you are, is ahead of us by leaps and bounds. America's been independent longer than we have been. Much longer. And even in their experience system, you had an insurrection. January 6th. And who knows, you might have a couple others coming down the line if you give Trump and his allies the way. But Ali only want to talk about one aspect of this parliamentary democracy. He only wants to talk about one aspect of it. See, some of you say, here's what Ali's saying there. Member of Parliament, Ganesh Bhai Paul, brought remarks on behalf of the leader of the opposition who was out of the jurisdiction, is out of the jurisdiction, an equally important business. And Ganesh had a couple of things of his own to add that we should be aspiring to. Folks, the Shadow Minister of Local Government and Regional Development, Ganesh Bhai Paul. Take a listen to some of what he said.
As parliamentarians, we have a duty to ensure that our institutions remain resilient, responsive, and rooted in the principles of democracy. The future of our democratic systems depends on it. Let us commit ourselves to revitalizing our parliaments, ensuring that they are not just places of debates, but true arenas of democracy, where the voices of the people are heard, respected, and acted upon. Together, we can navigate the challenges of our time and build a stronger, more resilient democratic future. As we gather to discuss the challenges facing our parliament, I ask you to consider the following. Do the people we represent feel truly represented by their members of parliament? Have we, as parliamentarians, allowed the public's faith in our institutions to wane? In systems where the government can often have its way, what then is the purpose of the parliament? How can we, as members of parliament, better connect with and serve the people we represent? These questions are not just rhetorical, they demand serious reflection and action. The purpose of our parliaments must go beyond merely endorsing government policies. We must strive to be true representatives of our people, focusing on the issues that matter to them rather than getting entangled in partisan battles. Representation should be driven by the needs and concerns of our constituents, not by a desire to prove who is better or more powerful. The time has come for us to rethink our approach to governance. We must move away from the divisive politics that pit us against each other and instead work together to address the real issues that affect our people's lives. By fostering issue-based representation and collaboration, we can restore faith in our parliaments and ensure that they remain relevant and effective in serving the people's interests.
Welcome back. Welcome back. That's some of what Member of Parliament Ganesh Mahi Paul said yesterday. Well, on the other hand, Irfan was painting a picture of all his rosy hair and how inclusive they have been and accommodating of the opposition in this country. I couldn't recognize that Guyana. I could not recognize that Guyana he was proffering at all. And this conference goes from the 1st of September until the 7th on Saturday. And of course, we're talking about democracy and challenges facing modern parliaments. That's the theme for this very important regional parliamentary meeting and conference that's happening. This is the 46th conference of the Caribbean, the Americas, and the Atlantic region of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association. Yep. Ali selling dreams out here, folks. Selling dreams. Let's turn our attention to a couple of things that are trending this morning. And we're so happy that so many of you wonderful folks could join us this morning. Look how many of you on the live this morning. We got Gwinnett and Jacqueline Neon Harding, Rastaman, Wayne Cosnu. Good to have you there, and Gwinnett and Everett and Andrew Griffith. Good morning, Andrew. Good morning, Dougie. Good morning, Dawn. Some of our favorite folks. Good morning to each and every one of you. Gwinnett says that Ali's full of nonsense. Endorse. Endorse. Good morning to you folks and welcome to our broadcast. The St. George's Secondary School that burned down, as Suffolk News characterized it as risen from the ashes. Risen from the ashes and has been reopened as of yesterday as a school of science. As a school of science. We're happy about that. We're very happy about it. You can't have enough schools. You just can't have enough schools at all. And it has welcomed 81 students. 81 students. If you remember, this school went up in flames in July of 2022. The cause was reported as an electrical fault which destroyed the entire building. It has now been reconstructed, right? And the headmaster there, Kevin Williamson, shared with the media the vision of innovative an innovative learning environment aimed at academic excellence is the focus of the school. They said while most of the new facility is complete, some final adjustments are still in progress, with additional support being sought for enhancement. Yeah, this sounds like a lot of school across the nation. This last bit here, be happy. As it be said, first, we just cannot have too many schools. And it's incumbent on any government Schools are destroyed, have to be rebuilt. Schools have to continually be rehabilitated. And in like mind, even your school curriculum, rehabilitated, and also the treatment of our teachers, the care and concern that is afforded to our teachers. Also, the remuneration, the wages and salaries has to be commensurate with the time and the age in which the education system is situating itself. So nice concept, School of Sciences and excellence and all of that. But is the school going to be given the enabling, environment not only to survive but to thrive? We're happy to see the school open. This is the St. George Secondary School. You know, it's close to the St. George's Cathedral. It's in the same vicinity there, that roundabout, that oval, whatever is the landscape there. Right? On the periphery of the St. George's Cathedral, the St. George's Secondary School. Reopened yesterday, 81 students. Yeah. Happy about that. Happy about that. Happy about that. Well, that's happening. Well, that's happening. We've made to understand that there are moves and pace to limit students having cell phones in the school. Period. That's what we've been made to understand. Right? And not only cell phone use, they're going to be. I thought this already. The monitoring of cell phone was already operational, but apparently they don't want students to have cell phones in school. Period. We've come a long way, you know. Parents need to be in contact with students and students with parents, you know, as the need might arise. I don't know if we have a system where if you need an emergency, folks can get a hold of you. But I believe if we monitor our kids, whether it's during the break or lunch or recess, students can have access to the phone to reach their parents, whatever the need might be. Not surfing the internet by any means and you're on TikTok and so on. And when I was at secondary school a little while ago, every little break time you running the library and you try to do some reading. You had some people you wanted to beat in class. This is academically, of course, you wanted to get an edge, and so every little free time you had, not all of it, not all your free time, you get into a little bit of wickedness too, here and there, and a lot of wickedness. But besides the point, you know, but monitoring, I don't think, refusing to have kids to have phones in school at all is going to cut it. Right? So the minister was emphasizing recently the importance of monitoring smartphone use in schools to minimize distraction, a failure there, and boost productivity. Right? But confiscating phones, on the whole, this is not the way to go. Right? She said there that the ministry and the minister is supportive of schools that choose to implement rules limiting the usage of cell phones during school hours. Right? They want to limit that. They had a very balanced approach. Very, very balanced approach where that's concerned. I agree that once class is in session, kids shouldn't be on the phone. Teacher can't be in the class, the kids on the cell phone at the back. Distracted, but the rest of it got to be very balanced. So we're watching that, folks. We're watching that as St. George's opens and we enter into a discussion on the rules to limit smartphone. You all remember? The things teachers used to come down on you, and you look back on that time and era and you say, oh, Lord, with the backward. The things you had to be accountable for. Yeah, backward. I don't know how some of those things served us later on in life. I honestly don't. But as we run the educational system and what's happening in the sector, quite a number of schools not prepared for the opening. Rock and come in prayer. It's like September crept upon them. It's a surprise. It's like September crept upon them. I was with the mayor of Linden, quite recently, y'all know we get around. And the mayor was showing us one school there. Students come from all over Region 10. They're housed in one of the dorms there. And the whole roof of the dorm was now being rehabilitated. The contract was only awarded about a week ago. And I think I saw a list of about 20 schools that not ready for the opening as yet. You can't do this every term, Priya. Loretta, Yvette, Jacqueline. Can't do this every term. Letter writer today, I think one Sahadio Bates, tells us that Lenora Secondary School, now ready for prime time this term. In this very short letter to the press, hear what Bates says. Our Minister of Education always on social media boasting something or the other. But today, being the first day of school, the lower secondary school commenced without a working toilet for students and teachers. To top it off, Bates says, school officials refuse to open the gate for the students to leave the compound at lunchtime. Why should the school be allowed to continue without a working toilet? And hundreds of students present, some 2 months to rectify all issues and still cannot be addressed? Wonder who have the bragging rights for this embarrassment in an oil-rich country. So how do you bit in a letter to the press? So quite a number of schools taken by surprise by the September opening. Quite a number of schools. This is like you all know the phrase we have here in Guyana, like a corner shop. We get corner shop a bad name. Some corner shops are efficient, proficient, know what they're about. We get some corner shops bad. I was at a business place the other day. I was very impressed. Let me use that as a starter. I was very impressed. I got to the door. One of those auto, what do you call it? That sells the lights for your cars and different accessories and so on. I got to the door. The man said, good day, sir. How might I help you? I said, looking for XYZ. He said, what model car? Right? I told him, he said, let's take a look at it. Right away. Quick. Right? He said, talk to the young ladies inside and we'll start getting it together for you. When I went inside and talked to the girls, quick. Them girls on their feet. Not only that, short space of time, I think less than 2-3 minutes. They said, oh, we have a special this week. You do X amount of business here. Right? This is the offering. I was like a 2,000 short. Let's say it's $10,000. They said if you do 10,000 in business, you get this discount and anything else you need. I didn't need whatever the offering was. But how they were quick. Loretta, you go to some places, people dragging themselves around like they hardly won. I like to see that. People energetic. You gotta put some turpentine in some. We gotta get efficient in this Ministry of Education, Priya. Every term is the same story. School's not ready to be open. And any teacher call a strike now, the teachers union, and a day or two gotta be missed. Oh, the learning loss. But when the ministry is the one facilitating and enabling the learning loss, then talking. So kids gotta be home another week. Because we couldn't fix the roof, the toilet, the bathroom, the classroom. Bushlot Secondary, some folks got some concerns there. This oil money, I'm meeting every place, It's not meeting every place. It's not. It's not. So some I'm getting plush and lush, some not so much. Some not so much. GKH Lal in today's press, we talking about letters to the editor and so on. So this consumer price index, this CPI, is an illusion amid soaring prices. He said it's not a reflection of what is experienced in the market by people every day. That's what GKH Loud says. Government is saying prices are supposed to be down, but it's lying. That's what they were saying. Right? Prices are supposed to be nice for Guyanese. GKH Loud wants to know the methodology behind this statistic. How they're measuring it? Because there have been a severe price increase, according to Lal, in basic food items like vegetables. But you see, I think Neon has it, fluff and bluff. We're entering an election period. So you can hear a lot of nice things. Oh, cost of living is nice and so on. But your lived experience tells you something different. GHK Lal says it flies in the face, right, of every market experience by many Guyanese. The consumer price index, they want it is manageable. Guyanese ought not to be crying out. But again, Candy and Marcia, Candy, Nalina, Enderjeet, Marcia, Jackman, Don Walcott, they lived the experience, something totally different. Something totally different. So we're following, not this year we're following, folks. Not this year we're following. I want to thank Attorney at Law Kemraj Ramjatan, one of the founders of the Alliance for Change, who was instrumental talking about parliamentary democracy in this country, robust. He can't even protest. They want to quiet the cane cutters. They want to quiet the sugar workers. So they arrested, I think, close to 40 of them. They had a protest concerning their work conditions, the payment they received. They arrested a whole set of them. A whole set of them. And it took Charlene Ortega and Kemna Dramjatan to fight on behalf of these workers, these sugar workers. Fight on their behalf. The men were acquitted yesterday before the magistrate Michelle Matthias. I think it was on the basis of a no case submission. Okay. The lawyers argued that the prosecution had provided insufficient evidence to convict the workers. But you know what the PP likes? To impede on your time. You gotta run to court, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, you gotta take a lawyer, you gotta love to impede on your time. We're so grateful for these attorneys who fought relentlessly on behalf of our sugar workers, and all were set free. Again, congrats, Kemran Ramjatan, who founded the Alliance for Change, and Attorney at Law Charlene Ortega. Congrats to them on that front. Some of the things we're following, folks. Moving on. You're going to be careful out there, huh? Gotta be careful out there. This young lady, Guyanese born, worked as a bank manager for the Hudson Valley Bank in the US of A. So she tried to have her brother-in-law killed in a murder for hire plot. Rishma Masserone is the bank manager. Rishma Masserone from Hudson Valley, New York, sentenced to 9.5 years in federal prison for plotting to kill her brother-in-law during a holiday in Guyana. The sentence was handed down by a U.S. District Judge, Cathy Sibel, on August 27. And this follows Masserone's guilty plea to the murder for hire charges. The plot, which was supposed to look like a robbery, involved hiring a security guard in Guyana, $10,000, right, with an initial $2,500 payment via Western Union. The would-be hitman ultimately alerted the intended victim, leading to Masserone's arrest. Alongside with a prison term, Masserone will serve 3 years of supervised release. Wanted to kill her brother-in-law. I didn't say too much about the motives for that. Marlet? Yeah, that's the information we have. That is the information we have. Folks, let's turn the right side of the law. Please and thank you. At home or abroad, let us stay on the right side of the law. And again, this is Rishma Masserone, lives in Hudson Valley, in the Hudson Valley in New York. Sad turn of events. 9 years and then supervision after that. Yep. So much for that. They don't think people easy, you know? We're not easy out here. How's your rapping, folks? Some of the other headlines you're chasing this morning. Some of the other headlines you watched this morning. You all remember Professor Bertrand Ramcharan, Dr. Bertrand Ramcharan, last week said that the PPP had autocratic tendencies. And he cited some instances, the treatment of NGOs in this country, the vilification of the opposition. Dr. Bertrand Ramcharan, former Chancellor of the University of Guyana, said that Guyana showed signs of autocracy. Ralph Ramcharan said, no, I disagree. He said the president would call out NGOs who he feels don't meet the mark. But that's not autocracy. That's what he says. That's not autocracy. Right? It's interesting. It's interesting. You know, we're talking about parliamentary democracy. Right now in the National Assembly, a new and United Guyana, which is a party formed by Ralph Ramcharan, same gentleman, they're supposed to have their man, their member of parliament, or their woman in the National Assembly. But Asha Kissoon, Dr. Asha Kissoon, is refusing to budge from that seat, and the PPP supporting her. The People's Progressive Party supporting her. And even on top of that, Ralph said, it's not autocracy. Ralph and Pagali, Ralph and Chope, you know what is happening? It is the PPP who is supporting Asha Kissoon, Dr. Asha Kissoon. And they are the reason she's not vacating her seat. Subverting the system, subverting the spirit of the arrangement that Dr. Asha Kissoon had with Anug and the Liberty and Justice Party. But see, no, it's not autocracy. Maybe it's hegemony. Marie Pierre Ramcharan live in a bubble. I believe so. You could see the things happening that happens in this country every single day. Macro, micro. And you said autocracy not prevailing here. I believe what Dr. Bertrand Ramcharan says. You got autocracy, shades of autocracy. Happening here. He would have us to believe there are no hands at play ensuring a two-seat majority for the people in the National Assembly. No. You see, they are afraid with their one-seat majority. Let Charandas them. Or let someone else Charandas them. So they insulate against that. A one-seat majority will not do. And so, enter Dr. Ashika soon, who doesn't have the moral fiber. We true to the agreement she shook hands on and signed her name to. But Ralph, he said there's no autocracy. What we can tell Ralph? What we can say to Ralph? Following again this Esquibo businessman who was shot during a home invasion just tells us that crime in this country continues to spiral in the wild, wild west. This happened in Region 2 in a place called Adventure. Early hours of yesterday morning, the home was invaded. Himself, wife, and adult daughter resided in the upper flat of this house, and the ground floor was rented out a Chinese restaurant. They said Mr. Biswant, he was awakened by a noise, investigated the noise, and was shot in his chest through some louver windows by an assailant outside. He was rushed to Sully Hospital, later succumbed. Wild, wild west. That could have been any one of us. Anyone. Anyone. Money for the boys. Money for the boys. So we finally announced that the CSOs are going to be earning $40,000 per month. This is the community service officers. He was at the time speaking at the National Park at the American Cultural Extravaganza over the weekend. Moving the stipends from $30,000 to $40,000. Just like that, you know. Just like that. Just like that. But other folks on a fixed establishment can't get a cent. I want what is for our indigenous brothers to go to them. But I want what is for the other folks in Guyana to come to them as well. So don't come wrong with funny. And here's where we leave it, folks. Finally, Elon Musk getting himself in trouble. We told you all last week that the court in Brazil ordered that X cease to operate. Cease to operate. Elon Musk don't want to comply with the Brazilians, and so a court order said they must cease to operate. You know, Elon Musk also owns Starlink. It has been observed that Starlink, that services Brazil, and shutting down X, which is formerly known as Twitter. So the court and Musk and the court, back and forth. That's how it's going. Right? That's how it's going. But look at technology going. Now is that cable you gotta run something? Satellite. You got internet. So just that you won't need cheating, you won't need networks, you won't need. Yeah. But there's a case also in how the rich and powerful work. The small man always gets trampled upon. The folks with the money, we make the allowances for them. We make the allowances for them. So you're watching that, folks. Not one of the issues that we're watching this morning. As I said, we are members of parliament. We're participating at this extraordinary conference happening. MPs meeting together and looking at a number of issues. We're part of that, and happening now in Guyana from yesterday to Saturday, the 46th Conference of the Caribbean, the Americas, and the Atlantic region of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association. That's going down, folks, and it's happening under the theme of democracy, challenges facing modern parliaments. That's the theme we're contemplating all week long. We're after that. We want to thank you guys so much for being here with us this morning. It's a hard finish so that we can get out and get after that. 8:56 at our end, and we're about 50 minutes into our broadcast. Andrew Griffith, we see you there. Candy Nilin Enderjit, we see you as well, and we see you. Gwyneth too. We see Gwyneth Anderson is there, and we see Beryl Crawford and all you other wonderful folks. Thank you so much for being here with us. We're going to see you guys back here on the next broadcast. Thank you so much. We're going to delve some more into this whole issue of the PPP's worldview on parliamentary democracy period, juxtaposing that with some of their own actions in the past. And we'll see what's what and who's who. Thank you so much for coming out this morning, for tuning in, folks, for logging on. So happy to have you here. Jilly G, Yolanda, Gwyneth, Edward, Carlton Smith, and all you wonderful folks. Share the line before you go. Smash that emoji button for us, folks. Let's keep on keeping on. Stay safe out there. That's our time.